Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Zoom Mat class. For today's class, if available, you want to be somewhere close to a wall because we're going to start with a restorative type of a pose. And then if you have yoga blocks, that would be wonderful. If not, you could always just use 2 telephone books if you have them at home, or really thick pillows if available. Okay, so along that note, and I also have a theraband because I'm obsessed with this soft, just really fluid movement assistance with that. So I seem to use it quite often. All right, so on that note, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm going to start with my legs up against the wall and my bum all the way against the edge of the wall as well. So I'm going to try to find my way out there. I'm going to be really far away from you, so please forgive me. And I'm going to shimmy my way into the wall. And if I need the yoga block, it's right there to put underneath my bum to elevate my bum a little bit more. So, and we're going to be here. I'm going to look at my time. Holy moly, I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. I think it's just now the hour mark. I'm trying to see if I can stay within the hour mark. So here we go. Oh, I'm there. I've settled down. My bum is almost against the wall. Now I'm totally against the wall. So my legs are just resting and the whole heel to hip sit bone connection is nice and happy. It's just a way to help our circulatory, our nervous system from the feet into the pelvis to get a little bit more assistance with gravity. That's the whole purpose of this restorative pose. And for some reason, this actually helps us relax our neck muscles a little bit more. Obviously, it's because the whole body is connected, but I didn't mean for it to come out, happenstance. It's not a happenstance. God knew what he was doing with our bodies, right? So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to stay in this restorative pose for about a minute, just so we know, and breathe. If this is not comfortable for you, we'll skip it or pause it and come back and join me. And I'm just going to take very comfortable breaths. I'm going to change my arm positions into goalpost. And if goalpost lets your ribs come off of the ground, then don't go there. Leave your arms all the way towards the wall in front of you. Most important thing we do for ourselves is breathing. And next thing is to have fun with whatever we do. So try to keep it as lighthearted as possible. All right, I think it's been about a minute. I'm going to move slightly away from the wall. And I'm going to first, before I walk away from the wall, I'm going to let my legs become windshield wipers from the hip to my foot connection. So letting the legs rotate side to side from the top of the thigh bones to the heel a few times. And then I'm going to gently walk away from the wall. I'm going to bend my legs, put my feet into the wall, and I'm perpendicular with the hips to the thigh bones and perpendicular with the knees to the heels. What does that mean? It's just so I have that connection of a happy ankle all around the ankle, the front, the back, the sides. Make sense? And now I'm also going to try to see how well I can lift just the toes to encourage the feeling of the middle of our foot to feel like it can just float up the first dome of our body and then relax the toes by fanning them back down. We're just going to do that a few times. We're just going to let the toes come off the ball of your feet and the heels stay into the wall, and then relax the toes back into the wall. 3 more times. You take an inhale, exhale, float the toes off the wall, and then inhale, fan them back. Last 2. 1 more. And now from there, all you're going to do is allow your pelvis to tuck so the tailbone curls towards your nose, the front of your body gets wide and rests comfortably into the small of your back, and then release the tail, go the other way as long as that feels good. And now check in with your inventory. Are your eye sockets soft? Are your jaws nice and wide and happy? Is your collarbone in a happy place? Are your shoulders in a happy place? All of these things are vital, and the ribs are heavy onto the ground. Awareness is key into helping enhance our movement patterns. The more aware and cognitive we allow our movement patterns to become, the happier the joints become. We don't want to move from our joints. We want to let the joints have soft and suppleness. I'm using the wall as though I'm pushing through the wall with the feet. And now I'm going to float my hips off the ground from my pelvic tilt, stepping into all corners of the feet equally, and just finding a little suspension bridge from the head to the tail so my ribs can rest in that suspension bridge. And I've got my tail curled towards my nose just so I can get a nice release for the small of my back and the sacrum. And then we roll our way back down. We have 5 more just like that. You take an inhale, exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips up. Isn't it nice to have the wall to step into? It's a lot easier on the hamstrings as well. And then we roll our way back down. 2 more times. We take a breath in, exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips up, pause for a breath in and out, and then roll your way back down on the next exhale. May I have 1 more of these, please? Take a breath in, exhale, curl, roll your way back up, pause, breathe in and out, and then roll your way back down. So now a supported sternum fold. We're going to bring our hands, interlace the fingers, and then protect our head and neck with our hands. The thumbs go along the sides of the earlobes. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, just nod your chin, pick up your head barely, and then let your breastbone get heavy into your backbone to sternum fold. And then release your way back down. Take an inhale. Exhale, it's a slight nod. The head is resting heavy in your hands, just to make sure you can talk clearly, because that means that the airway is open. And then roll your way back down. If you want to add the pelvic tilt on the next 3, go for it. Take an inhale. Exhale, sternum fold and pelvic tilt. So we've created a wide C curve in our spine. And then we release our way back down. If flexion is not good for you, don't do this. Just breathe. And release. Last one, take an inhale. Exhale, sternum fold and pelvic tilt. Pause here. Breathe. 2 more breath cycles. I hope you can hear the quiver in my voice, and then roll your way back down. So now we repeat that exact same flexion as long as it's available for your body. If you've been told not to do so, please honor your requests. Take an inhale. Arms are nice and long behind you as long as the shoulders and the collarbones and the ribs are happy. If not, over your head is just over your chest is just fine. Exhale, sternum folded pelvic tilt. Hands reach for the wall. You stay there and you take one foot off of the wall. You put it right back into the wall. And then the other foot comes off the wall and you put it right back. Exhale helps you drop your low belly into your back to take the foot off. Inhale, exhale, the other foot. Inhale. Last one, both sides. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. And then lift the arms up, relax everything back down. I hope that felt good for you. We're going to repeat it with a little rotation next. We bring our hands back behind our head as long as that's available. If you only need to support it with one hand, that's okay. Take an inhale, exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders forward, sternum fold, pelvic tilt. Pause there, take the right foot off of the wall. Keep the left foot, it's really magnetized into the wall. We're going to rotate the left underarm towards the right knee and then back to center, just that part. How many times? Just 5. As long as it's available. Number is totally irrelevant. If you do 3 good ones, that's just as well as doing 5 not so good ones or not paying attention. And then release the foot back, relax back down, take a breath in, let it all go for a second, take another inhale, exhale, curl forward again. Now we step into the right foot into the wall and the left foot comes off the wall. We allow our right armpit to lift up and towards the left knee, hand back to center. Up and towards the left knee, hand back to center. Up and towards the left knee, hand back to center. Up and towards the left knee, hand back to center. Last one. And back to center, release that foot, release the head, neck, and shoulders back down. Let your arms rest all the way long behind you as long as it's available without the ribs coming off the ground towards the sky. And we repeat our pelvic tilting into bridging and we add on our bridge. So I'm going to curl my tailbone, peel my hips up and pause here. I take an inhale, exhale, the right foot comes off the wall. I put it right back. Exhale, left foot comes off the wall. Inhale back. Exhale, right foot. Inhale back. Exhale, left foot. Inhale back. It's an opportunity to get a little deeper in that pelvic tilt and to help the thigh bone move freely in the hip socket. I know. Last one, both sides. And then we slowly trickle our spine down like it's melting like butter. Awesome. And once we release, we let the arm bones come all the way back down to the sides of our body. Bring one knee into your chest, the other knee into your chest, and give yourself a little hug. And if the if the legs don't want to fold too close, you can always support your hands behind the knee space to help you get a little deeper stretch. Whatever feels good for you. Excellent. So now I'm going to come away from the wall. I'm just going to roll onto the side to help me come up and use the wall once more to do my roll down switch. I'm going to have my feet hip width apart. So if you think of your inner ankle, inner knee, inner thigh bone, all the way into that bony part that you can feel across the top of the hip, that's the distance you want your feet to be apart. Make sense? All right, so now from there, I'm trying to sit as tall as I can into the wall with all corners of my feet. So I'm in a place where it's as though I'm standing on the ground, but I'm standing into the wall. Arms out in front of you. I'm going to start with a slight bend of my knees. Exhale, curling back to lengthen from that connection from hip to heel to broaden my low back. My head and neck are happy. Head's floating like a helium balloon. Neck is soft. I'm able to turn my neck all the way back on both sides behind me without any strain. So my arm bones are just going to fall down to the ground. I'm going to slide them forward to lift them off the ground. just that part all the way down. Exhale, floating it off. Inhale down. Exhale, floating it off. Are we quivering yet? Oh, I hear you, even though it's imaginary in my brain right now. Thank you for all your support, guys. Last one. And then you roll all the way down onto your back. Your feet may come off the wall. That's okay. And if available, take the arms up and back behind you. Take an inhale. If a roll-up's in your practice, by all means do so. If not, one leg roll-up is equally as happy. Exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders forward. Roll all the way up. Step into your feet into the wall to come all the way up to sitting. As you notice, I had to bend my legs to sit a little taller, easier. Same start. Exhale, curling back, reaching through the feet, through the heels to sit bones connection. Allow your arms to have where the palms face each other. Exhale, float the arms up to the sky this time. Inhale, back down. Exhale, arms float up, upper traps are uninvited. Inhale, back down. Huck in the arm bone, roll smooth in the shoulder sockets and back down. Last two. Exhale, up and back down. Eyes are soft, broad neck. Last one. And back down. Now this time, you're just going to let the palms turn up to the sky as you roll your way back down. Different hand connections. We're just enhancing our proprioceptive feedback for how our hands and our feet relate in our body. They're all connected deep into our belly button. So that's why we're trying to go into our embryological aspect of being inside a mom's womb. Arms nice and long behind you or right over your chest. One more roll up. Exhale, arms float up, head nods. You always have a voice that you can hear clearly. And you roll, peeling your way all the way up to sitting again. Wonderful. So now that we're here, we add a little rotation on the next round. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt again. Pause in your pelvic tilt. Let your left arm go up to the sky. Right arm stays out in front of you. The palms are still facing each other. We're going to turn and look at that left hand somewhere up above behind us. And we come back to where we were facing forward. We're going to let the upper body twist and turn and look up towards the sky, towards the left fingertips. And then we come right back. We're still in that pelvic tilt and we're twisting from the pelvic tilt. And back. We just have two more. If the shoulders do not allow you to do this, let your elbow bend and turn and look at the elbow instead, whatever you need. Or if you need to let the elbow hang and twist and look above regardless, whatever you need. That was 5. And we come all the way up to sitting tall in the middle. Take another inhale. Exhale, curling back. Easy shoulders, broad neck, soft eyes. Right arm goes up to the sky. We turn and we look at that right hand up above. And then we come right back to facing forward. We turn and we look at that right hand up above. And we come back to facing forward. It's just to mobilize the upper of the middle of our back to help us get a little easier in our neck. Yes? One more, I believe. I don't know. I'm not counting very well today. And then we come all the way up to sitting. How are we doing so far? I can hear you saying, great. So here's my opportunity for my yoga blocks. I'm going to put the yoga blocks right along the sides of my thigh bones. I'm going to take an inhale to prepare. And I'm going to exhale, float my bum off the ground without changing much of anything by letting my hands rest into the yoga blocks. My bum is just barely off the ground. And then I'm going to bend at the elbows to lower back down. Shoulders stay broad and happy. I take an inhale. Exhale, press into the hands, into the feet, into the wall to help me lift my bum off the ground. And then lower my bum back down. Let your elbows bend. We just have 3 more. Take a breath in. If you never try something, you never know. Exhale, press into those hands, flow directly up off of the ground, and then bend at the elbows, gently lower back down. Last one, it's like you're almost levitating off of the earth, but you have the support of your hands and your feet. And then you come all the way back down. I hope that felt good. It felt good for me. So now I'm going to sit facing the other direction, and I'm going to use these yoga blocks to sit on top of, because I want to get deeper in my spine stretch forward today. And I want a little extra throne, just so my hamstrings will let go a little bit more. So I've got each yoga block under each sit bone to give myself a throne to sit on. I mean, we're all, prince and princesses, right? Arms out in front of you. You take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, nod your chin and roll off of a wall. So it's like you're peeling off of that wall that we just used to go as far forward into that spine stretch forward. And notice my head did not drop below my neck. If my head drops below my neck, notice my airway, it's completely compromised. We do not want that. We still have a knot in our head, and then we gently roll back up to float right over those sit bones. Yeah, take an inhale, exhale, same thing. Palms are facing each other if that feels good for your shoulders. If palms facing down or up feel better, by all means, play with the hand positions. Feet are flexed, toes towards your nose, and then you come right back to sitting nice and tall. We have just 3 more, guys. Excellent. And coming right back. We're going to use the same thought process for saw next. Staying on this lifted throne to help your hamstrings and your calves get a deeper stretch. If you dropped your hands, would that be okay? Yes, absolutely. Just allow your middle and your low back to round as much as possible. That way you can really improve our diaphragm and our low back capacity. Last one. Minimize the rounding of the upper back. Just a little softness of the upper back is what you want to think about. And then carefully come back up. Yes? All right. So now we're going to go with the arms in goalpost position with the palms facing each other. I'm going to start my saw facing your direction first towards the camera. So I'm going to twist my upper body towards my left foot, and I'm going to reach my right hand towards the outside of the pinky toe side of the left foot. Left arm internally rotates and the palm is reaching up to the sky. So here's our deep spiral in our body, and then I come back to goalpost and breathe whatever feels comfortable. I'm going to twist. I'm going to reach my left hand towards the right pinky toe, right arm internally rotates, and I'm turning and looking at my right hand, and then I come back. So that was a very slow saw. Now we go pulse, we twist, we reach 1, 2, 3, back to center, we twist, we reach, 2, 3, back to center, we twist, we reach, 2, 3, inhale, exhale, 2, 3, and center. Inhale, exhale, 2, 3, and center. Last one. And back to center. How did that feel? Isn't that nice? I'm going to get a quick drink. Wonderful. So we've already got this lovely throne. We're going to use whatever you have as your throne, even if it's your pillow, to help open the front of the hips a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right leg back behind me. I'm going to bend the left knee. I'm going to sit on top of the yoga block with just the left sit bone. And I've got my left knee out in front of me. And I'm going to take my right leg as far back behind me, propping myself into my hands and my forearms. I'm in a nice long vertical line from earlobe to the hip joint. And from there, I'm going to let my right knee bend to get a deeper stretch for the front of that right thigh bone and quad. If it's available, the same right hand, twist and reach for that right foot behind you. Make sense? I hope it does. And then we're gonna let that go. Let that right arm twist you so far towards the left. Turn and look behind the left shoulder. Don't let your head drop underneath the armpit. Keep it above the shoulder as you turn and look behind you. And then come back to center. Just that part. So now what are we going to do from here? We're going to swing that right leg gently all the way in front of us. Lift our bum off. Scoop the yoga block to the right side. Bend the right leg out in front of you. Left leg nice and long behind you. Drop yourself into that up and out position, into that long, long collarbone, broad collarbone, long spinal connection, and then bend that left knee when it's available. This is a drastic stretch for me. Hopefully it's good for you too. And then I'm going to turn, look behind me. Right underarm helps me stay up and out of that right shoulder and reach for my left foot if it's available. It's not a must. Let me make sure I say that. Give yourself a subtle pelvic tilt if that'll help take it out of the low back as well. Wonderful. And now I'm going to reach that left hand as far out towards the right and turn and look above the right shoulder for 2 to 3 breath cycles. And then let that left leg go. Gently come back in front of you with those legs and take the yoga block off. And now we'll go on to our belly next. So I'm going to swing my legs back behind me and roll over onto my belly. All right, I've got the yoga blocks away, and I've got my theraband somewhere near me. So if it feels better for you to have a little pillow right below your face, by all means do so. If you need a little protection for the small of your back, put a pillow between the ribs and where the pelvis begins, and that'll also keep it away from the low back and your bum. The most important thing in life is to be kind to yourself. So breathing and being kind to yourself. Once you have the theraband in your hands, the palms are going to turn down. Your head and neck and your face is just barely off the ground. Let's all go ahead and just shrug our shoulders towards the earlobes and notice my airway changing, and then release. So I'm totally letting the shoulders slide up and down. 2 more times. 1 more time. Now I'm there. I'm going to see if I can use the wall with the big toe and the ball of my feet into the wall. So I'm literally stepping, using the wall as my guide to get a little bit more length from the front of my hip to the front of my toes. Make sense? All right, so now from there, take an inhale to prepare. Exhale. Once you've lifted your face off, lift your arms and your theraband that's in your hands off. Nothing changes. As long as this is available, you're going to pull the theraband wide from the middle of your upper back, hopefully, and release. We just have 7 of these. We pull it wide and we release. Exhale, inhale, or inhale, exhale, whatever feels good. Last 2 for me. I might have lied. 1 more. Excellent. And then lower the arms, lower the theraband. Turn your left ear to the mat. Same principle. If you moved away from the wall, find the wall again. Take an inhale to prepare. You're going to let your arms go behind you with the palms turned up to the sky. As you exhale, you're going to pull outward with the band. You're going to bend your legs. Kick your bum. 1, 2, 3, release it back down. Take the opposite ear to the mat. Release your arms back down. Let the internally rotated arm bone position happen. Take a lovely inhale. Exhale, turn your head and neck. Open the arm bones. Pull outward with the theraband. Float your legs off. Bend at the knee. Kick, kick, kick. Release back down. Left ear to the mat. Release the arms. Relax everything. Take a breath in. Palms are turned up to the sky. We're trying to pull from the thumb and the pinky sides of our hands evenly. And exhale, float your head, neck, and chest. You're looking slightly down, pulling outward with the band. Bend at the legs. Kick, kick, kick. Release back down. Right ear to the mat. turn and look. Take another inhale, let it go. On your next exhale, float up again. Same thing, pull outward with the band, kick, 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 release, and lower back down. So now we're just gonna stay lifted, pull outward with the band and kick 10 to 12 times. If that's not available, we skip it and we come back. Pause for a moment, take a breath in, exhale, turn your head back to center. Let your face and your head come off. You're still looking down, long back of your neck. We're pulling outward with the band, bending at the legs. We pull out and kick, out and kick, out and kick, out and kick, out and kick. I know, it's like scratching our belly and doing whatever. And release. That was crazy, wasn't it? I know. Take a lovely inhale. Let your hands go right underneath your shoulders. Push yourselves up and back into child's pose for a moment. Ooh, but doesn't child's pose feel much better? Holy moly, that is really worth all of that. Excellent. I'm always surprised with my own body's adventure, guys. We are such resilient beings, and we just don't allow our mind to think about how resilient we can be. All right, so now we're done with the wall section. I'm going to move my mat a little further away from the wall, both sides of the wall, so to speak. And I'm going to come back on my hands and knees. So here I am on my hands and knees. My hand is nice and broad, so meaning each pad of my finger is getting used to push into the earth. It's like I have a little spider hand. That way I have a little air going right in the thumb and the index finger crease, and also the pinky and the side of the wrist crease. My knees are directly below my hips. And from this position, I'm not going to change much of anything, but I'm going to take the right arm off the ground in front of me and then put it right back down. Same right arm again without changing much of anything, and then put it right back down. Just 5 of those. 3 and 4. If that's not available, you can go out to the side. And 5. Good. Same 5 for the other side. Is your head and neck floating? Are your ribs going up into the middle of your back and broadening? Are you staying lifted across your heartstrings? That was 5 for me. And now from there, I'm going to tuck the tail under, just let the small of my back round and release. It's such a subtle movement. It may look like I'm doing nothing. Exhale, just the tail and the low back curls, and we release. Exhale, curl, pause, broad neck, broad shoulders, easy shoulders. I'm going to press into the shoelaces of my feet and hover the knees off the ground. And then lower back down, stick my chest out into cow, look forward and slightly up. Take an inhale, come through your neutral, and then exhale, curl your low back. And then when you're ready, press down onto the shoelaces of your feet to lift the knees off the ground. And then back down. Last 3. Cow shape, neutral, curl, hover, down, cow shape. 2 more. Wonderful. And then from there, push off. Sit back on your feet in this hero's pose if it's available. If you need to put a blanket between the thigh bone and the knees in between or on your feet, do whatever you need, or a pillow underneath the feet, wherever you're going to be happy for a moment. This is a huge stretch for the front of the thigh bones, into the legs, all the way into the front of the feet. And it's very important. And now from there, I'm going to reach forward onto my hands, tuck the toes under for toe sitting next. This is a very difficult stretch for my body. So I've curled the toes under, And I'm sitting on my heels as much as I can, and I'm trying to stay as vertical as possible. If you need to fold forward, just don't hump it your back or round into your back. Stay as vertical and long as available. Be kind in your posture and your thoughts. Just 5 more seconds. Don't worry. Not for a long time. Excellent. And then we come back on our hands and knees again. If you need to go down to your elbows, by all means do so. But we're getting ready to go into our plank next. So I'm going to take one leg back. You can always be on your knees. And then I'm going to take the other leg back into my plank. I'm going to find how well I can keep the ankles in a happy place by pointing and flexing at the ankles. And I'm literally hinging along the underarm and the feet and the ankles. Low belly is staying lifted. Heartstrings are lifted into the middle of our upper back. Ribs are floating into the upper back and the middle back. Good. Pause there and just hold your plank for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your hips up and back into your downward dog shape. Keep your downward dog shape. Broad collarbones, easy shoulders, head and neck just draping. Spread your feet. So you're just pedaling through your feet, pointing and flexing one foot as one leg bends. Back and forth 20 times if it's available. I know it's a very large number, and this is also very, very important for us to pay attention to how well the ankle is rolling and how are we keeping our knees organized right over the heels, rather than the knees going side to side or too far inward. And my hands are about to slip off, so I have to readjust my hands. I'm almost at 14. Keep that low belly lifted, head and neck happy, shoulders happy. Just pedaling through my feet. I think this may be 20 each side. And then I'm going to lower down to my knees. One last opportunity to go into toe sitting position again. All right. Lots of different things today, I know. Whatever comes through this brain, through him, we just honor. That's what I've decided anyway. 5 more seconds. Time is flying away in my brain. Wonderful. From here, we're going to go on to our side lying position. So I'm going to go all the way down on my right side, and I'm able to let my right arm extend. If that's not available and you need to put a pillow underneath your head and neck, by all means do so. So you have a wall already. Use the wall as your guide to have your head and your tail and your back all against the wall. So your hips are stacked one on top of each other. Your legs are glued together. Both feet are flexed, toes towards your nose. It's very tempting to look at your feet. Try not to. And my legs are just slightly in front of me. I'm going to take an inhale to prepare. Let that exhale happen. Halfway through that exhale, I'm going to float both legs off the ground and then lower back down. Very simple. And down. And it's normal to feel wobbly as this happens. It's okay. It gets better and better the more we do something. We're going for 10 repetitions if it's available. 5, 7, 9. On the 10th one, keep it. Now the top leg goes away and it comes back. The bottom leg is still hovering. If you need to use your left hand as a prong to help you, please do so. All I have to do is go into my side and I feel so much happier. 7, 8, last 2, 9, and 10, and lower it all the way back down. That was crazy, right? Now we're going to think about how our inner thighs can help us. So I'm going to take that top leg nice and long behind me, and I'm going to let the hip slide a little forward, and then slide it back to where it belongs. It's as though you're still standing and you're sliding, you're disassociating one hip and pelvis away from the other half of the pelvis, and then you're sliding it back. Literally reaching and dragging it back. Just 5 of those. Here's 4 and 5. Excellent. So bring that top leg back on top of the bottom leg. Both hips are still stacked. Low belly stays lifted. Now those inner thighs come into play one more time. We're going to float both heels off the ground. And now the bottom leg falls and lifts. Bottom leg falls and lifts. Here's 3. The top leg ideally stays right where it was. And you're trying to reach the thigh bones to kiss each other. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wonderful. If you want a deeper challenge, you're going to prop yourself all the way up onto your forearm. If you don't want that challenge, you can lie on your side and just come off of the armpit, hold your head with your fist. Whatever you choose, remember, no judgment for yourself or from me. And find a nice broad collarbone wherever you are, head and tail in a happy place. Bend that bottom leg so the knee is directly in front of the hip. Top leg comes off the ground. Find that support. Flex that foot as it goes forward. Kick, kick forward. Kick, kick back. Top hand can hold your head to help you find that length also. Here's 3. 10 of these as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Keep it back there behind you. Reach your top hand somewhere in front of you, broad neck and collarbones. Let that back leg drop. Pick it back up. Inhale. Think of that toe tip reaching away from this left fingertip. 4. 10 of those as well. 5, 6, 7, 8. Subtle pelvic tilt will keep the small of your back happy. And 10. Excellent. Now we come back to that side lying position again. We're going to bicycle pattern. We're going to take the leg in front of us, bend at the knee, take it back behind us, sweep it all the way forward, bend, reach the heel behind you. Forward, bend, heel behind you. 5 one direction, 5 the other direction. Think this is 5 coming up for me. And now I reverse. I bend at the knee, reach the knee towards my chest, stretch the leg out in front of me, and then sweep it back. Bend, reach, and stretch. Wonderful. Excellent. So now from there, remember we've been doing all of these sitting in zigzag position. So push yourself up into the zigzag position and then find your little teaser suspension in the middle. Curl your tailbone back, float your legs off the ground in front of you with the bent leg position. Roll over onto the left side of the thigh bone and hip, come into your Z-sit. And then same thing, exhale, pelvic tilt to lift the legs off. And then we go over onto the right side of the hip. And back onto the other side. And back onto the other side. Last one. Notice how different it's going to feel when we finish both side lying sections. It's going to be crazy. So now I'm going to turn to the other side. All the way down on my side. My arm is extended. Remember, if you need to put a pillow, you can. Use the wall as your guide for your head, back, and your tail to talk to the wall. Both hips are stacked one on top of each other. And then you're going to bring your legs just a little in front of you, about 5 to 10 degrees, not much. Use the top hand as a prong if you need. Flex both feet. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, float both legs off the ground and lower back down. I'm going to use my right hand as a prong. Keep your right head, neck, and shoulders happy. Inhale, exhale, both legs and back down. and 3, 4, 5. On the 10th one, we keep it and we let the top leg go way towards the sky and bring it back. The bottom leg stays afloat. 8. Low belly lifts. Halfway through the exhale, we lift. Oh, snap. Here's 10. And now the top leg rolls away and it comes back. Try to keep that thigh bone in the same neutral connection. It'll love to just rotate out and the big toe will point up to the sky. But try to think of slicing the air with the pinky toe side of your foot. 5, 6, 7, 8. Easy shoulder. And 10. And now the bottom leg lowers and lifts. Top leg stays afloat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now reach that top leg back behind you somewhere and slide that pelvis down and slide it back to where it belongs. So we're disassociating how one half of the pelvis talks to each other. And like hanging out for the bus, so to speak. Hiking one hip and bringing it back to where it belongs. Just 5 of those, I believe. I know I did that between those inner thigh experiences. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm going to stop talking. Excellent. So now I'm going to bend the left knee in front of the left hip, prop myself up onto my forearm, elbow and hand happy, elbow and hip all in one line, top hand supporting my head, floating that right leg off the ground. It's hip width apart with the bottom leg. Kick, kick forward, kick, kick back. 2, flex the foot as it goes forward, point the foot as it goes back. 3, keep the knee happy. Let this be all about the thigh bone. 4, 5, allow your upper body to go with your thigh bone. It's not meant to just be stationary. 7, 8, allow it to absorb the changes. 9 and 10. Keep it back there. Now bicycle pattern. Bend at the knee, reach, take it out in front. Sweep it back, bend, reach, and take it back. Here's number 3. Here's number 4. Here's number 5. And now we reverse. We bend and we reach and sweep it out in front. Bend and we reach and sweep it out in front. Are you still up and out of the shoulder? Are you still having a happy neck? Reach that top leg back behind you. Let your right hand reach somewhere out in front. Use the hand into the earth. Reach that leg back behind you away from the right fingertips. Broad neck and shoulders. Let that right leg fall. Lift it back up. Just 10 of those. 4, 5, 6, 7. A subtle pelvic tilt really helps with the small of your back. 9, 10. Excellent. And then lift up into that zigzag position. Even the zigzag feels better for me right now. Arms out in front of you, as long as that's available. If not, you can always use your hands down to the sides of your thigh bones to lift into your teaser, and then go back out to the side. Whatever feels good. Pelvic tilt to lift your legs off the ground into that tabletop, and then have a seat on the other side of the hip. I should say thigh bone, because we're sitting on the side of the thigh bone. And back. Last 2. Back. And back. Just one more each side. And back. And back. Excellent. So now I know that you're thinking, normally I would add a side plank between those, but today I'm going to add a side plank in a different version. You're going to bend both legs, both knees are kissing, both feet are kissing. We're going to go onto our elbow again, as long as it's available. Elbow and hip are happy. We're not in this slumped shoulder position. We're up and out of that shoulder. The arm has rotated outward. Forearm has rotated inward. So the upper arm out, lower arm in. Take an inhale, head and tail in a happy place. Exhale, lift the hips off the ground for 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Broad neck, broad shoulders, underarms talking to each other. Low belly lifted. 1, hand down. How did it go? We just have 2 more rounds, same thing, as long as it's available. If not, remember, you can always skip anything you want. Take an inhale, exhale, float off again. Top arm reaches up. Are you still in a happy long line? You may always use the wall to help you find that line. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and down. Wonderful. Last one, guys. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift up into that same side plank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and down. Wonderful. Other side. Swing your legs out in front. Swing it all the way to the other side. Let both knees kiss, both feet kiss. We're all the way down onto our elbow and hand. Underarm lifted instead of slumped, up and out. Long vertical line from head to tail. Ribs soft into your back. Low belly lifted. We float up. Left arm reaches up to the sky. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Wonderful. 2 more times and we're almost home free with this class. Take a breath in. Exhale, float. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Breathe. Smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Last round. Take an inhale. Exhale, float off again. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and back down. Wonderful. All right, so you're going to push yourself up. Sit with your legs as wide as possible. Can you sit taller easier at this point? I feel a lot looser. I'm just going to go into spine stretch forward with dragging my hands all the way on top of my legs and just resting my body in that forward fold position. And I'm going to give myself 3 full breath cycles. Hold the inhale and then exhale it out, explode it out. Two more times. Excellent. I sure hope you're enjoying these classes as much as I am. Thank you for allowing me to move with you. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate you guys.